The Undertaker's legendary rivalry with Shawn Michaels, which eventually led to the end of Michaels' career, was just as entertaining as his beef with Batista, a clash of titans. But nothing stands out as much as the dead man's attempt to get rid of the destructive force of nature, Brock Lesnar. Of course, Lesnar had a dark plan of his own and wouldn't be put down so easily. The Undertaker tried to vanquish several wrestlers over his 30-year career, but a handful of his attempts stand out. Join us as we explore 20 WWE wrestlers The Undertaker wants to annihilate. Mankind. The year 1996 marked the beginning of one of the most harrowing and physically demanding rivalries in WWE history. This saga would push the boundaries of what was thought possible in professional wrestling. It was the year when Mankind, the deranged brainchild of Mick Foley, emerged from the bowels of darkness to challenge the very essence of The Undertaker. Mankind was no ordinary adversary. He was a twisted, masochistic persona with a penchant for pain and a threshold for suffering that seemed limitless. His eerie entrance music and the haunting screech of a car crash set the tone for the chaos that would ensue. The Undertaker, already a formidable force in the WWE, met his match in the unpredictable nature of Mankind. Their rivalry was not just a contest of strength and skill, but a psychological warfare that would leave the audience in awe. The 1998 Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Mankind is remembered for its unspeakable brutality and the unimaginable risks both men took. Mankind was thrown off the top of the 16-foot cell, crashing down onto the announcer's table below. Yet, incredibly, the match continued, with Mankind being chokeslammed through the cell roof to the ring below, a testament to his unyielding resilience and the relentless ferocity of The Undertaker. Their encounters were more than just matches. They were spectacles of human endurance and storytelling that redefined what it meant to be a professional wrestler. Shawn Michaels. As the twilight of the 1990s approached, a new chapter unfolded in The Undertaker's storied career, one that would be defined by an intense rivalry with the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. This feud was not just a collision of two superstars. It was a battle between the darkness of The Undertaker and the flamboyant arrogance of Michaels, a man who prided himself on being the showstopper, the main event, the icon of the WWE. The 1997 Hell in a Cell match was a spectacle of violence and athleticism, a grueling encounter that pushed both men to their limits, the edge of their seats, the cell, and delivered a tombstone piledriver to The Undertaker, allowing Michaels to secure a controversial victory. Their rivalry would continue to simmer, leading to one of the most memorable moments in WrestleMania history. At WrestleMania 25, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels faced off in a match that is often hailed as one of the greatest in the event's history. The two icons delivered a performance that was nothing short of a masterpiece, a perfect blend of storytelling, athleticism, and drama. The match ended with The Undertaker extending his legendary WrestleMania winning streak, but the respect earned between the two men was the true prize. Kane. In the annals of WWE history, few rivalries have been as enthralling or as enduring as the one between The Undertaker and his storyline brother Kane. This tale of sibling rivalry is steeped in the supernatural and the macabre, a narrative that would come to define both characters and captivate fans for years to come, by interrupting The Undertaker's Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels. Towering over most of his contemporaries, Kane, with his mask and red and black attire, presented an image as ominous as The Undertaker himself. The storyline, rich with elements of family betrayal and dark secrets, saw Kane challenging The Undertaker, claiming to be his long-lost brother, who was thought to have perished in a fire for which The Undertaker was held responsible. Their rivalry was a clash of titans, marked by a series of matches that showcased their otherworldly personas and physical prowess. The two behemoths collided at WrestleMania 14, where The Undertaker was forced to confront the brother he had sworn never to fight. The match was a spectacle of power moves and dramatic storytelling, with The Undertaker triumphing over Kane. However, the rivalry was far from over. It evolved over the years, with the brothers alternating between bitter enemies and reluctant allies. They formed a formidable tag team known as the Brothers of Destruction, dominating the tag team division and leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Brock Lesnar. The collision of titans, the clash of the immovable object, and the unstoppable force were the essence of the rivalry between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, known as the Beast Incarnate, burst onto the WWE scene in 2002 with unmatched raw power and athleticism. He quickly ascended the ranks, and it wasn't long before he crossed paths with The Undertaker, setting the stage for a confrontation as intense as it was inevitable. Their first major encounter for the WWE Championship at Unforgiven 2002 was a brutal affair that ended ended in a double disqualification. This result satisfied neither man and only served to intensify their hatred. Their rivalry escalated, leading to a Hell in a Cell match at No Mercy in 2002. This encounter was a punishing display of brutality, with both men pushing each other to the limit. With his collegiate wrestling background, Lesnar brought a level of physicality that few could match, but The Undertaker, with his years of experience and resilience, was no easy prey. The years would pass, with both superstars carving their own paths, until their rivalry was reignited in dramatic fashion at WrestleMania 30. The stakes were higher than ever, with The Undertaker's legendary WrestleMania streak on the line. In a shocking turn of events, Lesnar conquered the streak, leaving the WWE Universe in stunned silence. Triple H. In the pantheon of WWE legends, few rivalries capture the essence of an era like the one between The Undertaker and Triple H. A tale of two icons, each with a storied career and a fierce determination to dominate the WWE landscape, their rivalry was a testament to the evolution of professional wrestling. Triple H, also known as The Game, emerged as a force to be reckoned with in the late 1990s, a period that saw The Undertaker solidify his legacy as the phenom of the WWE. Their paths would cross multiple times, but at WrestleMania 17, their rivalry truly ignited. On the grandest stage, The Undertaker and Triple H battled in a match that was as much about physical dominance as it was about psychological warfare. The Undertaker's victory that night would be a crucial chapter in an epic saga. As the years progressed, their rivalry grew more intense, with each encounter adding layers to their storied history. It was at WrestleMania 27, however, where their rivalry reached new heights. With The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak at stake, Triple H sought to do what his best friend Shawn Michaels could not. In a no-holds-barred match, they waged war upon each other, pushing the limits of endurance and leaving everything in the ring. Despite Triple H's relentless assault, The Undertaker prevailed, extending his streak and further cementing his legacy. Edge. In the realm of WWE rivalries, the conflict between The Undertaker and Edge stands out as a battle between the ultimate opportunist and the embodiment of the supernatural. With his cunning and relentless ambition, Edge proved to be a formidable adversary for The Undertaker, a force of darkness whose presence had long been a cornerstone of the WWE. Their rivalry reached a fever pitch in the mid-2000s when Edge was at the height of his villainous persona, having mastered the art of manipulating circumstances to his advantage. At WrestleMania 24, their paths fatefully collided, with The Undertaker challenging Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. The match showcased The Undertaker's power and mystique against Edge's technical prowess and strategic mind. The Undertaker emerged victorious in a battle that saw numerous near falls and heart-stopping moments, claiming the World Heavyweight title and extending his legendary WrestleMania streak. The intensity of their rivalry grew as Edge, consumed by his obsession to dethrone The Undertaker, engaged in a series of matches that pushed both competitors to their limits. Their confrontations spanned various pay-per-view events, each match escalating in stakes and ferocity. The rivalry culminated in a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam. The Undertaker defeated Edge in a brutal and definitive encounter, sending him crashing through the ring in a spectacle that symbolized the end of their feud. Randy Orton. In the early 2000s, a new star was on the rise in WWE, a third-generation wrestler with a cold, calculating demeanor and a devastating finisher known as the RKO. Randy Orton, self-proclaimed as the Legend Killer, embarked on a mission to cement his legacy by taking down the biggest names in the industry. It was only a matter of time before his path crossed with the legendary Undertaker, setting the stage for a rivalry that would captivate the WWE Universe. Their feud began in earnest in 2005, leading up to WrestleMania 21. Orton, brash and confident, challenged The Undertaker, seeking to end the storied WrestleMania streak and solidify his claim as the Legend Killer. The match was gripping, showcasing Orton's athleticism and cunning against The Undertaker's power and resilience. Despite Orton's valiant effort and a near victory with a cunning counter into an RKO, The Undertaker emerged triumphant, the streak intact. The rivalry intensified as Orton, along with his father, Cowboy Bob Orton, engaged in psychological warfare against The Undertaker, leading to a series of matches that tested the mettle of both superstars. Their feud saw them clash at SummerSlam, where The Undertaker was victorious, and again in a casket match at No Mercy, where the Ortons united to set The Undertaker ablaze inside a casket. The climb. Batista. In the mid-2000s, the WWE landscape was dominated by larger-than-life characters, and among them stood Batista, a powerhouse known for his explosive power and animalistic intensity. When Batista's path crossed with The Undertaker, it sparked a rivalry that was as much about the World Heavyweight Championship as it was about proving who was the true alpha of the SmackDown brand. Their storied rivalry began at WrestleMania 23, where The Undertaker challenged Batista for the World Heavyweight title. The match was a collision of two of the most dominant forces in WWE, with Batista's raw power clashing with The Undertaker's methodical dominance. In a physical and strategic battle, The Undertaker extended his WrestleMania streak and captured the World Heavyweight Championship. But the war was far from over. Over the years, The Undertaker and Batista engaged in a series of matches that tested the limits of both superstars. Their encounters at events like Backlash and Survivor Series were marked by their raw intensity and the high stakes involved. Each match reflected their resilience and determination, with both men scoring victories over one another, further fueling their competitive fire. The rivalry reached its apex in a Hell in a Cell match at Survivor Series, a brutal and unforgiving environment that had become a hallmark of The Undertaker's career. Kurt Angle. In the landscape of WWE rivalries, the one between The Undertaker and Kurt Angle stands out for its unique blend of technical wrestling prowess and competition intensity. Angle, an Olympic gold medalist, brought legitimacy and technical skill to the unparalleled ring, while The Undertaker brought an imposing presence and a storied career that commanded respect. Their rivalry reached a pivotal moment at No Way Out in 2006, where The Undertaker challenged Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight Championship. The match was a masterclass in in-ring storytelling, with Angle's Olympic-caliber wrestling clashing with The Undertaker's striking and submission skills. In a shocking and fitting finish, Angle managed to outmaneuver The Undertaker and retain his championship, leaving fans in awe of the technical spectacle they had witnessed. Their rivalry was not defined by animosity, but by a mutual desire to prove who was the best in the ring. Whether it was on SmackDown or at pay-per-view events, when these two stepped into the ring, it was guaranteed to be a clinic in wrestling excellence. The Undertaker and Kurt Angle's rivalry was a compelling narrative of two athletes at the top of their game, each with their own distinct style, coming together to create magic in the ring. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The late 1990s in WWE were defined by the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin, a brash, beer-swilling anti-hero who captured the imagination of fans worldwide. His ascent to the industry's top was meteoric, and it was inevitable that his path would cross with The Undertaker, the dark guardian of the WWE ring. Their rivalry encapsulated the Attitude Era, when WWE programming was marked by edgier content and larger-than-life personalities. Their first major clash for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam in 1998 was a battle for the ages. The match was a gritty, no-holds-barred affair that saw both men pull out all the stops in their quest for dominance. The Undertaker's mind games and Austin's relentless aggression made for a volatile mix, with Austin ultimately retaining his championship in a hard-fought victory. Their rivalry would continue to simmer, with each encounter adding to the intensity of their feud. They faced off in a Buried Alive match, a First Blood match, and numerous other high-stakes confrontations showcased their incredible chemistry and the raw physicality of their in-ring styles. Each match was a chapter in a saga that was as unpredictable as it was entertaining. John Cena. Cena's meteoric rise was marked by his transition from a generic character to the Doctor of Thugonomics. This persona resonated with fans and showcased his unique blend of hip-hop swagger and in-ring prowess. The Undertaker, already a towering institution in WWE, represented the old guard, the benchmark of excellence, and the embodiment of wrestling's dark mystique. Cena, the brash upstart, symbolized the new wave of WWE superstars eager to carve out their legacy. The tension between Cena and The Undertaker began simmering in 2003 during the SmackDown brand's rise. Their first significant encounter came at Vengeance in 2003, where Cena, hungry to make a name for himself, challenged The Undertaker to a match. Despite Cena's valiant effort, The Undertaker emerged victorious, but the match planted the seeds for a rivalry that would sporadically ignite over the years. Their feud caught fire in 2006 on an episode of Raw, where Cena and The Undertaker found themselves on opposing sides of a tag team match. The chemistry between the two was electric, their every move scrutinized by fans who yearned for a more substantial confrontation. The WWE Universe had to wait until 2018 for the rivalry to reach its zenith. After transitioning into a part-time role due to his burgeoning Hollywood career, Cena began a campaign to lure The Undertaker out of the shadows for one more epic showdown. CM Punk. CM Punk, the straight-edge savior, carved a niche for himself in WWE with his unapologetic attitude and in-ring skills. His path to stardom was unlike any other as he clawed from the independent circuit to the grand stages of WWE. Punk's journey to the top was marked by his relentless work ethic and a penchant for controversy, which inevitably led him to cross paths with The Undertaker, the guardian of the WWE's sacred traditions. The year 2009 was pivotal for CM Punk as he held the World Heavyweight Championship, a title he defended with a mix of cunning and skill. During this time, The Undertaker set his sights on reclaiming the gold, setting the stage for a clash that would become one of the most talked about feuds of the year. Their rivalry reached a boiling point at breaking point in September 2009. The match was a submission bout, a specialty of The Undertaker, who was expected to cinch the victory with his dreaded Hell's Gate submission hold. However, the match ended in controversy when The Undertaker seemingly had won, only for the victory to be snatched away by a dubious call from the referee, who claimed The Undertaker had submitted to Punk's Anaconda Vice. The controversy only fueled The Undertaker's resolve, and their feud escalated, leading to a Hell in a Cell match that same year. Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, the WWE chairman and the mastermind behind the company's rise to global prominence, has had a complex and multifaceted relationship with The Undertaker, oscillating between alliance and animosity. McMahon's influence has been instrumental in shaping The Undertaker's career, and their on-screen confrontations have become some of the most memorable moments in WWE history. The saga began in the late 1990s when the debut of the Big Red Machine at Bad Blood in 1997 was a masterstroke by McMahon, setting off one of the most enduring rivalries in WWE. Their dramatic falling out led to a bitter feud that saw The Undertaker rebel against McMahon's authoritarian control. The conflict culminated at Survivor Series in 1999, where The Undertaker faced off against McMahon's hand-picked enforcer, The Big Show, in a match that symbolized The Undertaker's resistance to McMahon's regime. The new millennium brought new battles as McMahon, ever the authority figure, found himself at odds with The Undertaker on several occasions. Their feuds in the 2000s were characterized by McMahon's attempts to assert his power over the WWE locker room, with The Undertaker often standing as the defiant force of opposition. The most notable of these clashes occurred at Survivor Series in 2011, where The Undertaker faced McMahon in a Buried Alive match. In a brutal and symbolic encounter, McMahon, with the help of Kane, buried The Undertaker alive, seemingly ending the Phenom's reign of terror. Big Show. The colossal figure known as The Big Show, a titan among men, made his earth-shaking debut in the WWE in the late 1990s. Standing at a towering 7 feet tall and weighing over 400 pounds, he was a Goliath who seemed unstoppable. But every giant has his David, and that adversary came as The Undertaker for The Big Show. The Undertaker, already a legend by the time Big Show arrived, was the gatekeeper of the WWE, the final boss that every superstar had to face if they wanted to prove their worth. The stage was set for an epic confrontation when these two behemoths first locked eyes. It was a clash of the titans, a battle that would shake the very foundations of the WWE universe. The Undertaker, with his dark gothic persona, and The Big Show, a mammoth of a man with surprisingly agile athleticism for his size. As the rivalry intensified, The Undertaker and The Big Show faced off in a series of colossal matches. The feud climaxed in a match that would go down in WWE history. The stakes were higher than ever, and the tension was palpable. With his massive frame and crushing power, The Big Show has the advantage. But The Undertaker, ever the master of mind games, used his experience and cunning to level the playing field. In the end, it was The Undertaker who emerged victorious, but not without paying a heavy price. Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart, revered for his technical prowess and dedication to the sport, was entangled with The Undertaker during intense nationalistic storylines and backstage politics. Their on-screen feud reflected the real-life tensions simmering beneath the surface, tensions that would eventually boil over in one of wrestling's most infamous incidents. Their feud was ignited by their differing ideologies, with Hart representing a foreign antagonist to the American audience, while The Undertaker stood as a symbol of the WWE's timeless values. The rivalry peaked at SummerSlam in 1997 as in enmities. Behind the scenes, the relationship between Hart and The Undertaker was strained by the events leading up to the Montreal Screwjob in November of 1997. The Undertaker, a respected locker room leader, was caught in the crossfire of a real-life drama that saw Hart, embroiled in a contract dispute with McMahon, lose the WWE Championship to Michaels in a controversial fashion. The Undertaker was one of the few who confronted McMahon about the incident, showcasing his loyalty to the unwritten code crossroads of the wrestling world. The Rock. With his electrifying charisma and unparalleled mic skills, The Rock rose to prominence in the WWE during the Attitude Era, when the company was redefining the limits of sports entertainment. Intense rivalries marked his path to superstardom, none more significant than his feud with The Undertaker, a storied veteran of the ring whose dark persona was the antithesis of The Rock's vibrant character. Their major feud in the late 1990s was centered around the most coveted prize in the industry, the WWE Championship. The Rock, a rising star hungry for gold, and The Undertaker, the established gatekeeper of the main event scene, found themselves locked in a battle for supremacy. Their rivalry was a clash of two of the biggest personalities in the WWE, each with a loyal following and a claim to the throne. The feud saw them face off in a series of memorable brawls and matches on Monday Night Raw and at various pay-per-views. Their encounters were marked by a blend of The Undertaker's methodical, punishing style and The Rock's dynamic, high-energy offense. Fans were treated to a spectacle whenever these two titans clashed, with each bout adding to the lore of their storied rivalry. One of their most notable confrontations occurred at King of the Ring in 1999, where The Undertaker defended the WWE Championship against The Rock. Muhammad Hassan. In the year 2005, the WWE landscape was rife with characters that pushed the envelope, but none were as controversial as Muhammad Hassan. Portrayed as an Arab-American wrestler, Hassan's character tapped into the post-9/11 geopolitical climate, generating heat from audiences like few before him. Enter The Undertaker, a figure synonymous with controversy in his own right, but of a very different nature, transgressions, positioning himself as the voice of the marginalized. Unfazed by Hassan's rhetoric, the climax of their feud came amidst a whirlwind of controversy. The Undertaker delivered a devastating last ride to Hassan in a moment that would become infamous in WWE history, effectively writing him out of the WWE narrative. The character of Muhammad Hassan was retired shortly after. Heidenreich. The year 2004 witnessed one of the most bizarre and unsettling feuds in WWE history, as The Undertaker was entangled with the enigmatic Heidenreich. This rivalry defied convention, blending the macabre with the outright strange. Heidenreich, a relative newcomer with an imposing physique and a wild-eyed stare, brought a brand of chaos to the WWE that was both intriguing and disturbing. The feud took a turn for the surreal when Heidenreich confronted The Undertaker with a chilling recitation of his poetry. The dark and twisted verses were meant to unnerve The Undertaker and throw him off his game. It was a psychological ploy that The Undertaker himself might have employed in his early years, but the dead man was no stranger to the mind games of the squared circle, and he met Heidenreich's bizarre antics with a silent, ominous defiance. As the rivalry escalated, Heidenreich and The Undertaker brawled at the Royal Rumble and other events, their encounters marked by a ferocity that left the audience both captivated and confused. Each confrontation was a spectacle of aggression, as Heidenreich sought to prove himself against the legendary Undertaker. The matches were wild, often spilling out of the ring and into the crowd, with Heidenreich's raw power against The Undertaker's methodical, calculated approach to combat. Great Khali. The year 2006 saw the arrival of a new colossus on the WWE scene, the Great Khali. Towering over the roster at 7 feet 1 inch and weighing in at 347 pounds, Khali was a spectacle of size and strength. But to reach the pinnacle, he would have to go through The Undertaker. As the rivalry unfolded, the matches and segments between The Undertaker and Khali became known for their painfully awkward exchanges. Despite his imposing presence, the Great Khali was still green in the ring, and his inexperience led to bouts that were often less than fluid. The Undertaker, a consummate professional, worked to carry the matches, but the chemistry between the two was undeniably lacking. Behind the scenes, The Undertaker voiced his displeasure about working with Khali. It was a rare crack in the facade of the dead man, who was known for his ability to work with any talent and make the best of any situation. The Undertaker's frustration reflected his dedication to the craft and his desire to deliver the highest quality performance for the fans. Despite the challenges, the feud over the World Heavyweight title pressed on. The Undertaker and Khali faced off in a series of encounters that tested the resolve of both men. Roman Reigns. As WrestleMania 33 loomed on the horizon, a new feud began to simmer, pitting the old guard against the new. Roman Reigns, the emergent face of the WWE, found himself on a collision course with The Undertaker, the company's long-standing sentinel. The tension between the two superstars was palpable, with the symbolism of the Yard, a metaphor for dominance in the WWE, at the center of their conflict. The feud was charged with emotion, as it represented more than just a storyline. It was a passing of the torch, a moment that would would mark the end of one era and the beginning of another. Speculation swirled around The Undertaker's potential retirement, adding real heat to the rivalry. Fans were torn, knowing that a victory for Reigns could signal the last ride for the dead man. The match at WrestleMania 33 was a spectacle of storytelling and athleticism. Roman Reigns brought his power and agility to the fore, while The Undertaker summoned the dark energy that had fueled his legendary career. The bout was a back-and-forth affair, with each superstar landing and absorbing punishing blows. The Undertaker's resilience was on full display, but so was the undeniable force that was Roman Reigns. In the end, it was Roman Reigns who stood victorious, his hand raised in the center of the ring that he now claimed as his own. Watch the next video for more interesting content.